All right, guys. We're starting this segment again. Finally found the core video. Apparently, this is the sister of one of the guys involved in the Citi bike Karen situation. I'm going to keep this really simple. All right. Really simple stuff. Simple little recap on my original perspective. My original perspective is it seemed like two people fighting over a bike and it was silly goosery. And that them going after her seems like a massively disproportionate response. At worst, she was being not great. I don't know. But to cancel her entire life over this seems ridiculous. I also think it's a little silly that every time, just because she was crying doesn't mean that she's racist. I understand you want to say, oh, well, she could be weaponizing white tears. Maybe. Or maybe she was just upset because she's 6 months pregnant and she worked a 12-hour shift. Seems like a fight over the bike. She showed receipts to the New York Post. Those receipts said that she docked it, or she got it, docked it a minute later, and then she got a different one, which makes sense to the story considering they were fighting over the bike, and then she drove home 25 minutes, whatever. I know those receipts weren't released, but they hadn't released anything. This is that release. Okay. It's probably going to boil down to a big nothing stupid thing. But also, I wonder, why aren't they coming forward? How come they're having like the sister do it instead? That seems weird. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Let's go.
The only reason why Sarah Jane Comrie was able to produce this receipt for this bicycle is because she jumped over this young man standing right here who had his hands on the handlebars, jumped over him, impales herself on his bike, and scans the QR code to begin the ride. How did all of this happen, and how do I know what happened? Because that young man is my little brother.
Okay.
Bike number 5603915 was...
I mean, that must be a very popular bike. I don't know. But people must love that bike.
In my brother's possession from St. Nicholas Ave and Manhattan Ave all the way to 1st Ave and East 30th Street from the hours of 6:33 p.m. to 7:19 p.m.
Okay. What's the time on that? Was that 27 plus 19, 27, 37, 46? 46 minutes. Okay. Doesn't that go 1 minute over? Aren't you allowed to have it for free? If you're a member, so it's not for free, but no charge unless you go over 45 minutes. So wouldn't he get charged for that?
At 7:19 p.m., they dock the bikes. Sarah Jane Comrie walks up to them, asks...
Oh, maybe that's why this says 37 cents up here. Maybe he got charged 37 cents for the extra minute.
Hey guys, can I use one of you guys' bikes? She says this as there are other bikes sitting idle at the bike rack.
Okay. Here's my thing. Because this might be true. It's a little far-fetched to me that somebody would jump over the bike rack for whatever reason to specifically get that bike.
They politely decline.
My thing is here's the big thing. Where's the rest of the video? Because did I even put the Twitter post in there? I guess I didn't. Because it's a 45-second video that they recorded. Do they have more to it? Is there like beforehand? Or maybe that's where they first started recording. I would like to see as much information as I can. But okay. Let's continue.
Decline. She asks them again, mentioned that she's pregnant, and they still decline.
Okay.
Then, with my brother standing next to the bike with his hands on the handlebars, she jumps onto the bike, sits on the bike, and scans the QR code.
Okay.
Thus beginning her ride.
Okay. I guess the question is, like, how come they were waiting after they docked it like 6 minutes? Maybe they were just hanging out and talking or something and chatting before they were going to take the ride again. Because again, my understanding is like you have to dock it a certain amount of time, or else you might get overcharged more even as a member. So maybe that's what it was. I mean, I guess that can make sense. A group of young men were riding. Could be, because I think that you have to take both perspectives into account. Could have been riding, and then they decided to take a break for 6 minutes. Yeah.
Mind you, the bike was in my brother's possession at this time.
Okay.
So this screenshot is from 6 minutes after the previous ride ended.
Okay.
Once the boys reached the bike rack, they docked the bike to restart the ride. Okay. My brother's standing next to the bike. That's when Sarah Jane Comrie walks up to them and asks, hey, can I ride this bike? They say no. They politely decline. She asks them again. They politely decline. As the bike is docked is when she jumps over my brother because he's standing with his hands on the handlebar. She jumps over my brother to start her ride.
It's so weird to me because okay, so she walks up to them and she's being polite as well. Can I take that bike? And they're like, no, you can't. And then she says again, can I take the bike? And they're like, no, you can't take the bike. It's just, why would you do that? Why wouldn't she just take another bike? Is it because you think she's racist, or I don't know. I just it just doesn't really add up to me. I guess maybe. I don't know. I guess she could have done that. It's just like a lot. She'd have to be a real piece of shit, I guess. To just be like, I'm going to take this bike, even though there's 10 other bikes here. Oh, no. Yeah, well, she jumped over him. Yeah, well, she's got pregnancy parkour, bro.
Then the bike gets pushed back in during the back and forth.
Yeah.
And then my brother is able to start the ride again for him. As you can see, 7:25 p.m.
Okay.
Previous ride ended 7:19 p.m. Okay. These gentlemen, these boys, did not steal this bike from Sarah Jane Comrie. She stole the bike from them, then proceeded to weaponize her whiteness.
Wait, hold on a second. How come you can't show us the trip from the original trip then? Hold on. Oh, she did. Okay. 7:19. I guess she shows this trip and then she shows the other trip. Okay.
Is okay. From 6 minutes after the previous ride ended. Once the boy.
Wait. Sorry, I just. 6:30. Yeah, we already did that. 46 minutes. Okay.
Is from 6 minutes after the previous ride ended. Once the boys reached the bike rack, they docked the bike to restart the ride. My brother's standing next to the bike. That's when Sarah Jane Comrie walks up to them and asks, hey, can I ride this bike? They say no. They politely decline. She asks them again. They politely decline. As the bike is docked is when she jumps over my brother.
Wait, so she... Okay.
Because he's standing with his hands on the handlebar. She jumps over my brother to start her ride. Then the bike gets pushed back in during the back and forth. And then my brother is able to start the ride again for him. As you can see, 7:25 p.m.
Okay. So that just proves that it sounds like he actually had it originally, if we believe that these are unedited screenshots. And that he got it again after, but that doesn't really matter necessarily because that just means he won the altercation. So it's interesting that he had it first. I question why he waited 6 minutes. I guess it kind of would make sense if they do it in between. Okay. I mean, this really just adds up to me. This really just seems like dumb that like two people fought over a fucking bike and who cares? And that we've decided to overload it with like racial narratives on one side and like narratives that he was trying to steal it from her as a scam on the other. People were telling me that he probably was trying to scam her by taking her bike that she undocked. Like both sides, we were just creating a narrative. Well, the reality is it's just such a stupid situation that like the specifics are irrelevant to all of us because we can never know the specifics. It's going to be a he said, she said. She's going to say as much as she can to advocate for her. He's going to say as much as he can to advocate for him, or he's going to have his sister say it, I guess. And like at the end of the day, there's no way for us to actually know unless there's more on that recording. But with everything, all information we have, you can't make the prescription that she's racist. You can't make the prescription that he's a fucking criminal. If people just are trying to insert narratives into places where they don't belong, one of these people did something wrong. So, okay.
Previous ride ended 7:19 p.m. These gentlemen, these boys did not steal this bike from Sarah Jane Comrie. Okay. She stole the bike from them, then proceeded to weapon.
Well, if it was okay, sure, but it was docked, so I don't know.
As her whiteness.
Okay, maybe.
Video started being recorded at 7:24 p.m., close to 7:25. My brother's ride that was in the previous screenshot starts at 7:25. The initial ride where my brother rode the bike all the way over to the bike.
How long is the video though?
This bike dock ended at 7:19 p.m. Sarah Jane Comrie walked up to them. Sarah Jane Comrie asked them if they can use the bike. They said no. Sarah Jane Comrie sees that the bike is docked, gets up, scans the QR code, jumps onto the bike. starts screaming.
You know what it sounds like actually happened? That there were no other bikes left at this place, and she's probably lying about that. And that this woman wanted to use the bike dock, even though he had reserved the bike, or he was holding it because he was going to go in after whatever period of time. And she's like, "Fuck you! I want to take the bike, and you're not using it." And just jumped on, and they had like an altercation. It's so dumb.
For help and fake crying so that she can get an electric city bike. There were a number of bikes at.
Well, can you just show us that to us? Can you show more of the video? How much more video do we have? Can you show us more video? Can you just show us more video? Like, you have the video. Show us where there's no other bikes. And I'll be like, oh, wow, that's pretty fucked. Why is she being such a bitch? You know?
The bike rack already there when she arrived. She still proceeded to try to take the bike from my brother. Help. Trying to get help for the city bike. The city bike is in my brother's possession on his account.
Well, it's not, actually. You're wrong about that. It's in nobody's possession. He might be holding it. He might be touching it, but it's in nobody's possession, and then she gets the possession of it. Maybe she did jump over him to grab the bike. I don't really know the specifics about the altercation. Again, it's just two idiots fighting. Not to be rude, but that's what it is. Show us more of the video.
7:25 p.m. Docks it at 7:19 p.m.
Okay.
Picks it back up 7:25 p.m. While she's screaming for help, trying to make it seem like these boys stole this bike from her. The bike is on my brother's account.
Okay, sure. Okay.
It is not defamation of character if the way that you behave reflected your character.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really hear it as defamation, but you're just assuming racial narratives. Like, why isn't he coming on and defending himself? Why aren't we showing the full video? Because you want to know why? Because it's going to just show that both of them are stupid. That's what it's going to show.
It is not defamation if it's true. Sarah Jane Comrie, you did behave like a Karen.
Okay.
That's true.
Sure.
There's no way around that.
Fine. Even if she did, it doesn't mean she's racist. Okay, listen. This whole fucking thing is so stupid. This whole thing is so dumb. This entire situation is stupid. And it's boring. And it's so tiresome. Because we put so much energy into a nothing issue. That's it. We put so much information into a nothing issue. Here are the facts that we have that we can operate off of. We have the fact of the first video, and we have that's it. That's literally it. And we have the fact of we have the fact of the first video, and then we have the fact of the screenshots. Everything else is interpretation. That's all we have. Okay? So, in the first video, what happens? All we see is two people fighting over a bike, and that's it. And she gets a little bit emotional, I guess, right? Which might be due to the fact that she worked all day, and she's pregnant. Who cares about the pregnancy? And she's a little emotional. I think that you could say that she's being disproportionately annoying. That's fine. To assume that it has racial intentions is ridiculous. You're trying to assert narratives there. That's the fact that we know. Then we know, based on what she produced to the New York Post, that she has a screenshot or whatever of her having the bike for a minute and then having a different bike for 25 minutes to get home, which shows that she had gotten the bike. This video admits that she was able. This video confirms, by the way, what was in those. Confirms what those messages. By the way, those screenshots that everybody's questioning that doesn't want to believe it, because she says that the woman did parkour pregnancy, jumped onto the bike and scanned it herself. She's affirming everything that New York Post article said. So if you don't believe that those screenshots exist, you're objectively incorrect based on this video. This video proves that other girl had the bike for the minute. It doesn't mean that she didn't steal it or whatever, or jump on it like an asshole. It just confirms it. So we know fact number one, there was an altercation where the girl got upset. Fact number two, she did have the bike for that minute. Okay, fact number three, this other kid had the bike for 5 minutes beforehand. So what we know here, is the kid rode the bike to that destination, to the stop, to the city bike. He rode it here. Then he waited 6 minutes. No, rather, then he just was there. He rode the bike. He was just there. Then she got possession of the bike. We don't know how. We don't. We simply don't. It's everybody is saying a thing. She's going to advocate for herself to the fullest extent. He's going to advocate for himself to the fullest extent. Okay? That's just what's going to happen. The other girl scans the bike and uses it, and then there is our altercation. We have receipts for him riding the bike, docking the bike, the altercation itself. Then she gets the bike for a minute. We have information for that, and then she gets another bike. And then we move on our way. We're done. That's it. This is all we have. That's it. We also, though, in this video, which I think I labeled A for some reason, there's probably more. Show that. They're not going to. Whatever. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't prove to them. I have a hard time believing, in the same way I have a hard time believing that these guys, their black doesn't actually matter, but the fact is that we're overloading it. They're conservative saying that these black guys were trying to steal the bike from her. I believe that as much as she's a big racist Karen that wanted this kid to get in trouble or something. There's something in the middle, and this situation doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which party is wrong, because this boils down to one of the two or both of the parties having a bad day or something. The fact that we canceled her whole world is fucking stupid. You're an idiot. You want everything to be racist? Maybe she's just a bitch. Like, maybe she's not racist. Maybe she's just like an entitled asshole, like all nurses. But to cancel her for this, for her to lose her job is wild. This whole thing is so stupid. And people, this is everything for everybody. This whole situation is the number one priority in the whole world. If maybe she didn't notice the other bikes. If there are a bunch of other bikes, then I don't even know how to justify her behavior. You know what's quite possible? That he fucking walked away from the bike for a second and then she jumped on. He's like, that's my bike. I don't know. Who cares? Who gives a shit? None of this fucking matters. I don't care. None of this matters. This is so stupid. It's so fucking dumb. This is like most interactions that we walked into. It's as if we walked into a fucking grocery store and we saw two people fighting over an orange. We don't know anything about what the fuck is going on. Papa's just mad because they tell him he sells diabetes. Well, the nurse doesn't say anything about my diabetes when I go to the hospital because they don't care about that. But I did have a nurse where she gave me a pill once, and I was like, "Oh, can I just swallow?" And she's like, "No, you have to chew it." And I was like, "Okay." And then she ruptured my vein, and she had to go in another way. She had to go into my hand, and then I was able to leave the hospital. So she did it for no fucking reason. So at the end of the day, this whole scenario, stupid, doesn't matter. The fact that it got so worked up, even into a story, shows how absolutely terminally online everybody is. Papa, he docked the bike and she, without knowing, took the bike and they both believe it's theirs. Sure, maybe. I don't know. Gives a fuck. We don't know anything. We know that they had an altercation where she got upset. We know that she rented the bike for a minute and he had rented the bike 5-6 minutes before she rented the bike. That's all we fucking know, dude. We don't know anything. But we decided that this altercation is racist. We decided that. We just decided that it's racist instantaneously. I don't care. Frankly, I question why they don't release more of the video. I doubt that they only recorded 46 seconds of the video. And I question why the sister is coming on to prove the innocence. This whole thing is stupid as fuck, to be honest with you. Thankfully, her brother wasn't canceled and didn't lose his job. But she did. I don't know if she lost her job, but she got canceled, so that's obnoxious. Leave this girl alone. Jesus fucking Christ. You guys are childish as fuck.